Hey everybody, it's Michelle. I am here to talk to you about our Patreon page. This is the page that you can go to help support our podcast with a monthly donation. When you commit to supporting us, you can get additional bonus content such as extra podcasts, our favorite playlists, our show notes, and eventually we would like to have merchandise to sell like t-shirts and baseball caps, and we would let you have first dibs at those. Of course, because we are coffee moms, we are offering membership levels that are as follows: the coffee membership, the cold brew membership, or the espresso membership. Now, no pressure whatsoever, but if you do love our podcast and you would like to help support it, you can go to patreon.com/messybunmamaspodcast. That is Patreon, patreon.com/messybunmamaspodcast. There you can choose a membership level that works for you. Melissa and I want to thank you in advance for your love and your support.
Messy Bun Mamas. I'm Joe. I'm John. I am Malcolm. Wow.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the Messy Bun Mamas podcast. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Michelle.
And today we are talking about July 4th memories.
One of my favorite holidays, for sure.
I agree. Like, it's actually one of the ones that I feel like, it's funny because I feel like I don't think anybody likes July 4th, but I can't tell you how many of my friends are like, that's one of my favorite holidays. And I'm like, really?
I'm actually surrounded in my family by a bunch of I would rather just stay home people. So I'm like,
what? There's
What?
so many things to do, though.
Right.
Like,
there's parades,
right?
There's fireworks, there's food, there's family time.
There's food, there's food.
There's lots and lots of food.
And it's outside. And
yes. It's in the thick of summer, and it like the whole, I guess I do a lot of reflecting on freedom and stuff. I mean, it's such a meaningful holiday to me that it just doesn't make sense to me. But yes, I love when you texted me and you're like, what do you think about doing an episode on the 4th of July? I'm like, I love Melissa so much.
Well, because I just feel like it's one of those things that you either like, you're like all about it, or you're just like,
Right.
Yeah,
because it's not like Memorial Day or Labor Day to me.
Both those,
especially like Labor Day has no meaning to me.
And both of Labor Day and Memorial Day, to me, like, I understand like memorializing, veterans, like, okay, but fine. But like, I don't think of Memorial Day and Labor Day as like these holidays that are profound and I'm like excited about them. And like, we're not going to do a Memorial Day episode. We're
not this year anyway. I mean, maybe something drastic will happen and we'll change our minds, but I mean, probably not.
No, I mean, we always do go camping Memorial Day weekend, but that's it. We go camping.
Yeah. Or we have occasionally had like family over for a cookout, but it's it's not like a huge memory thing.
No.
And I do make Dan go to the parade, but that's because I also love parades.
Right.
Such a little girl.
That's fair. So before we get into that, let's get into our mama moments this week.
All right. So my mama moment is something that I've been doing for myself, kind of. Excuse me. I had to make a clear decision to start getting up early in the mornings because our podcast is growing and we're wanting to do more stuff with it. Plus I have my blog and I have my 31 as well, which is kind of really gone by the wayside and I need to revive it a little, but it is very hard for me oftentimes because Joe does not have good personal space boundaries when I'm trying to work on something. And because I'm a stay-at-home mom, I do have the conflict in my head of like, well, I am here to be like not the sole person in his life, but to be the major responsible one in his life. So I do have the conflict in my mind of like, if I tell him to go play in his room or go watch a TV show, am I being a bad mom then?
Right.
So I've decided to get up early in the mornings, which is hard for me because I haven't done it in for so long, 4+ years. And so getting up, I was not looking forward to it, but I have found that I'm enjoying it. It was my hardest day. I'm on day number 4 right now. And my hardest day was the first day. Like,
oh, really?
I thought I was going to die all day long. Literally. And I even said to Joe, I'm like, hey, Joe, don't you think we should take a nap? Because ironically, instead of sleeping until 8:30, he's been waking up at 7 all this week. I'm like, aren't you tired? Don't you want to go take a nap? And he's like, nah, I'm fine. So that was my hardest day. Was jerk. That first, right? Was my first day. But I have enjoyed like the aspect that I don't feel like I'm rushed through the whole day. Because I get up. Actually, my first half hour is taking care of the animals, getting the dogs outside, getting them fed, feeding the cat that thinks he's starving all the time, and then giving Gracie her medicine and stuff like that. So all of that stuff is out of the way. So I'm not, when Joe does get up, I'm not having to do all of that and listen to him, mom, 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 mom. So I mean, so it's already some pressure taken off of me. But then I do like get some quiet time to get some work in. I do still kind of stare off into space a couple of times and like have to come back and be like, wait, focus, Michelle.
Right. We're doing something here.
Stop drooling. Get to work. But I can foresee that this just making my life a lot better. And ironically, I feel more driven to like do stuff around the house as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if it's just because I feel so successful already in the morning of getting stuff done, but I'm like, I'm going to go.
I'm going to do the dishes.
I'm almost caught up on all my laundry. And by all my laundry, I mean like Joe's clothes, my clothes, Dan's clothes, all the towels. And then we have like this, I call it the blanket couch.
We have one of those.
It's where all the dirty blankets go. Not that we have a huge ton of them, but this washing machine that we have doesn't handle the bigger ones, so I kind of always put it off. Plus, then in the summertime, it's just easier to hang it out on the line. But I'm down to like 2 blankets on my blanket couch. So yeah, I'm like, look at me. I've been keeping the living room picked up, and I mean, it's like I'm not dusting it every day or anything like that. But
the
like,
toys are picked up.
The toys are all picked up. Our dining room table has stayed clear. I'm like, what magic is this? So that's my mom moment. It's kind of a me moment, but I know that it's impacting the rest of my family as well. So
that's great. See, I've been waking up at like 4 a.m. for like 10 years. So it's just like...
You're just amazing.
I mean, it's just the jobs that I've chosen to work, where it's like, I just got to wake up early.
Honestly, I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. But I think just my commitment and drive to... And we have had some excitement with the podcast going on. So it's, I think, just the drive to make it go further. Yeah. Really has me like, just get up. Right. And like I told you the other day, I sat and argued with myself in bed for 20 minutes. I'm like, this is ridiculous. just get up. You're not going to sleep, very obviously. Your brain's not going to let you.
I do that too, though, where like my alarm clock will go off and I'll lay there and be like, ugh, this is going to put, I'm just going to lay here for a while. I'm going to go back to sleep. And I'm like, oh, it's going to throw everything back like 30 to 45 minutes, which means then I'm going to run late on this thing. Then I'm going to run late on that thing. You know what? I should just get up.
Right.
I should just get up.
So it's wasn't exactly, it's not even this morning getting up. It wasn't like I jumped right up and was like, hey, Dave. But I feel like it's already getting easier for me to like function in like my thinking and stuff like that. So.
Well, and I feel like it helps. So my feeling about it is when you said you were going to start doing this, I think it's good for you because I think that it's going to allow you to have a little bit more like, you're more than just a mom.
Yes.
Because you get some time that's dedicated to just like you, where you're not like being hung on or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like as moms, it's so easy to lose our individuality.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do take time for yourself to do things you want to do,
right?
You know, it's just a little bit different. And your mind's different in the morning than it is at 11 o'clock at night.
Right. Well, that's what I said is, you know, I always have this, I've been saying to myself, after I put Joe to bed, I'll do this. But honestly, once Joe's to bed, my brain is like, peace out.
Right. I don't want to do
done.
Anything. I'm tired. I'm done.
I mean, I'll scroll through Instagram for you if you want, but you are not going to do anything productive.
We're not working. We are not.
Right.
No.
We can laugh at some reels or whatever, right. but we're not doing actual work.
Exactly.
So yes, my brain definitely is more creative in the morning.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
So,
good job, Mama.
Yeah. So tell me about your mama moment.
So I guess my mama moment isn't really like, I don't know. It's not really like a mama moment. It's more like a married moment. So we're recording this in May, and this is the month that it's our anniversary this month. 9 whole years. Which is a long time. I'm only 31. So
it's our anniversary too. So it's a big anniversary month, I think.
Yeah, no, May for sure. And I was cleaning out our like important papers drawer because we're trying to like deal with our car title, and we're trying to sell a car. We're trying to deal with the title, and I can't find the paperwork from like the loan company releasing blah blah blah. Whatever, right. Fine. So, and in looking for this, I found our wedding vows that we wrote, because we wrote our own vows.
Okay.
And like, of course, I kept them because I'm a dork. And it was just like super cute just to
read it.
Like, it was kind of smushy and it was just really nice. So I'm actually going to read them, my vows, because they're kind of funny. And I feel like it'll give you like a little bit of context into
your relationship.
A relationship. Maybe not. Maybe I just think they're funny. But I did chuckle when I read them. Growing up, I always was under the impression that falling in love was supposed to be a fairy tale, and I was supposed to find my Prince Charming. After a while, I realized that life wasn't a fairy tale. You were my best friend who saw me laugh, cry, go through heartbreak, and you were always there. I vow to always remember our friendship because that is what has made loving you so easy. I vow to remember that your imperfections make you perfect. I vow to remember that on this day, I have promised to put you and I first over everything. I vow to love, honor, and cherish you through the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and always remember to work hard at this and never quit. I vow to always find you hotter than Vin Diesel and cherish your individuality as long as we both shall live. Were you listening to it like, what's going to make me laugh, Melissa?
Oh, that's quite a vow. That's amazing.
So those are my wedding vows, and I found them this I found them this week and it made me smushy. So my mama moment this week is that like I kind of like my husband a little bit. And if you got one of those or a significant other or a partner or whatever, just like pinch their butts for me.
Right.
Just
well, maybe
be a little silly.
For yourself.
Not for yourself, but just do something silly.
Yes. That is nice.
Just be in love.
Because yes, it's hard because especially when you have kids,
right,
you get caught up in the thick of life, and it's just like you become irritated with each other. You're just trying to survive.
You're just trying to survive.
And so it's nice to step back and think, there are reasons that I love you. And there's reasons
we
why
made
I
these tiny humans
you.
for a
We made
reason.
this person together. So yeah, it's just it is good because it's so easy to always, because you are in the thick of it, to always just kind of think about the negative things. But I agree. I love my big teddy bear man. Even if he does make me be the bad cop. Not bitter about it at all.
So let's get into our July 4th memories.
Yay.
You want to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. So I grew up, my grandparents lived in Wisconsin, but they lived up north in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. They lived in a town that had less people in it than my middle school. It also had like 14 bars, but this is
Those
Wisconsin.
Fun town.
This is northern Wisconsin, so nobody's surprised. So one year for July 4th, everybody in town just decided to like pool their money and they were gonna shoot off fireworks over the lake. Okay, so we're all pulled up to the lake, sitting in, truck beds. Like,
I feel like this was a disaster.
Pulling up. Well, so there was nobody was injured or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, people didn't realize is like, yeah, there's only like 600 people in this town. But if everybody's like, here's $100, here's $100, here's $100, and then you send some random human with thousands of dollars to go buy fireworks, they're just like, that looks cool. That looks cool. Right. Okay, so fireworks started at 8 p.m. By 3 a.m, we're still going strong.
You should have had like a part 2.
Yeah, and the thing is like, I mean, I think I'm like 7, 8, 9, something like that. I don't know. I was like under 10.
Right.
And by like 3 a.m, everybody is wasted shooting off these fireworks.
Right.
We are only halfway through, and it just becomes this ridiculous, like, whose idea was this? Right. This is not a good idea. Because not only do we not know how to shoot off fireworks, but we don't know how to set them up, stage them, or anything.
Right.
So it's like, boom, 10 minutes later. Boom, 10 minutes later. Boom. It's like, all right. This isn't as good of an idea as it sounds.
Obviously, somebody needed to be in charge, and nobody was.
Well, there were a bunch of men in charge.
Oh.
So my dad and my grandpa and my brother were shooting off the fireworks. But the thing is like, you have to set it up.
Right.
Boom.
They just thought they were going to come in and it
was just going to be like a magical show. Right. And then ever since then, my dad's like, I know why they do them like 45 minutes because it's kind of hard to like set them up to all like go off, to make it a show. And I'm just like, yeah. Never again. We never did it again. I don't know what happened to the fireworks. I'm sure somebody was like, this was a bad idea. We're never doing this again. But that's what happened. Because the thing is it's not like shooting off bottle rockets or whatever, like on the 4th of July. It's like you have the entire town watching you. And it's just like, boom. 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 It's like, this is
right.
Well, this is fun.
Kind of kills the fun of it all.
Yeah. I'm bored.
Right.
Watch the fireworks. It's been like 20 minutes since one went off.
Right.
So that was my first memory.
So I have to be honest, when I was little, like Joe and Malcolm's age, I was not a fan of fireworks.
Okay.
They
They're loud and scary.
I remember one specific year that we were close enough that when the big fireworks would come out, I had the perception that it was coming down on us. And so I was not a fan of them. I don't know what turned the tide of that, of just maybe it was just getting older and maturing, but I one day just woke up and realized that I loved fireworks. And then I moved down to St. Louis to go to Gateway for a couple of years, and this is where my real love came in. And we went downtown St. Louis to watch the fireworks. And it was such an amazing experience to be sitting at the river's edge. I mean, literally, my feet were right at the river's edge. And to see the fireworks just big and booming and colorful right over my head, it was just
It's magical.
It was a magical moment. And ever since then, I mean, there was I guess maybe I'm a little more of a different person than my family or my husband's family, because we took the subway downtown. I mean, so imagine all the people in St. Louis and the surrounding areas on a subway. So it was chaos going home. And I know, like, my husband, my mom, nobody would be like, this was worth it.
Leaving fireworks, I feel like everybody knows leaving fireworks is the worst.
It's the worst. But everyone I know is just like, it is not worth it to me to go and experience that. But I have said over and over again, if I even now, every year, do you think maybe we could try to go downtown Milwaukee this year? And Dan's like, oh no. Just because it really is a magical moment for me. There's just that little girl in me. Our town does a parade before our fireworks, and I know the town over next to us does a parade as well. But I love just the simplicity of the bands playing and the patriotic songs. I think as I've gotten older, even just like the patriotism and stuff,
right,
really makes me reflect and things like that. So that's my very first clear memory of these fireworks are the bomb. So that's my first memory. So tell me about another memory of yours.
So another memory for July 4th for me is so my dad has 3 siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we weren't often, like, because one of my aunts lives in Maryland with her family at this time. So we weren't often all together for any holidays or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But for one year we were all together for July 4th, and I was like 13-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was in town, so we decided we were going to go to this park and have like a cookout and whatever. And my grandpa, like, he was a very, like, he liked to spoil us kind of grandpa.
Sure.
Like, he wasn't the day-to-day kind of grandpa. Like, I don't think he would have enjoyed that. But like, when his grandkids were around, like, he'd wake us up at 3 a.m. to have ice cream with us. Yeah. So we are at this lake, and when you're at like lakes or whatever, this was a lake that had multiple like pavilions, so you could rent things. Mm-hmm. So he just had like an open tab at the rental place, like, let them have whatever they want. Like, they want 14 paddle boats, they can have 14 paddle boats. It's not a big deal. So it was just like a fun day of like jumping off the platforms that were in the middle of the lake, and like, all of us cousins like getting to be together when like we didn't really get to be together that often. And like everybody just kind of like being silly. And the reason this is like a profound memory in my mind is because at one point, two of the boys were in like a boat that you rent, like a paddle boat.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, like a fly flew by or like something that was going to sting them. So they stood up and jumped off the boat. And the like park Nazis came over and like kicked them out of the park.
No way.
Yes. They were just like, that's against the rules. We have no tolerance policy. These kids need to go. And my grandpa was like, well, if they go, we all go. And they're just like, well, I guess you'll all go then.
Say
so
goodbye
like
to your funding.
Middle of the day.
Right.
Like it's like noon. And like all of us pack up and leave. And it was just like the most outrageous thing. But it's one of those stories that like we tell at like holiday. Remember that one time you got us kicked out of the park because you couldn't handle like a fly? I don't even know what it was, but like this is the story that we tell now. But yeah, it was like kind of outrageous.
That's amazing of your grandpa though, that to be like, hey, if they go, I go, and all the money.
Right? An open tab on anything we wanted. Like
Right.
anything at the snack thing, anything we wanted to rent. Like, no.
Right.
There was no qualms whatsoever. So, and it was just like,
and it's not like they were trying to be like super troublesome or anything.
I mean,
like
even
that.
if they were, like, you can't warn them. You're just gonna like kick them out.
Right.
First thing, like, we have 0 tolerance. There's a sign posted. Who reads those signs?
Right. Not only that, it's the 4th of July.
Right.
Have some tolerance.
Right.
So
you're fine.
Yeah.
You obviously have too much power right now.
Right.
Yeah.
You always got to love those people that have that little bit of power that make themselves really big in their heads.
Right. All right. So let's take a short break and then we'll come back. Hi, this is Melissa from the Messy Bun Mamas podcast, and I want to talk to you today about Anchor. This app, let me be real honest, is basically lifesaver. I got the random idea, on a Tuesday that I wanted to try and hit up my mom friends and try and get a podcast going, and Anchor has made it so smooth. I downloaded this app, at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, got my plug and play microphone, and we were able to go in, record. We had a high quality recording, and it turned out great. And I didn't have to take any of the tutorials or anything like that. So if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's a safe and easy way to make a podcast. It's also free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, which is amazing. So I don't have to feel like a failure if nobody listens to me talk. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. For example, we just recorded our first episode and I was already able to go in and remove something really stupid that I said. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, so let's go into your second memory.
All right, so my second memory is the summer that I had met Dan. And I think it's just a good memory because that was the year, because my family wanted to meet him, right? So that was the year that they all came and got together again for like the first time in a long time. I mean, it wasn't, when I say my family, I say my dad, my stepmom, my mom, and my future stepdad, and my brothers were there, and a couple of friends were there. So it was I don't know, this is a simple memory. I just remember sitting there thinking, I have all I ever want right here with me. And
Aww.
so and then like I said, I have a deep love for the fireworks. And of course my mom and my dad and everybody was like, we're gonna park way back here because it'll be easier to get out of all of this. And so Dan, because he super loved me at the time, like took my hand and walked me up closer to the fireworks. And I remember just kind of standing there with him, and I wouldn't say it was love. He was probably trying to impress me more, but trying to win me over. And so he like walked me up closer, and then we were able to have like that individual time too, and it wasn't just my family breathing over us. So that's my one of my other 4th of July memories. I do just remember sitting there and thinking with everybody around me, I'm like, this is a perfect moment right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. Like I said, I think for the 4th of July, I wish people understood it's a whole complete package for me. I like being with family. I like to see the fireworks, the parades, all of that. So tell me about your next memory.
So my next memory is it's kind of like a compilation, I guess. So when fireworks are going on, I feel like it's so easy because I like fireworks. I like watching fireworks or whatever. So it's so easy to like not look at my kids' faces when the fireworks are going on because I want to see the fireworks.
Right.
But every time that I've taken the kids to see fireworks, so last year we didn't do fireworks because like COVID. But every other year we take the kids to go see fireworks.
You ruined our lives, COVID.
Right. And it's just, if you have the opportunity this year to like watch your kids' faces as they watch fireworks, like just the wonder that's on their faces. It's like my favorite part of July 4th now.
It kind of matches how you feel about it though, right?
Yes, because like I'm the same way with fireworks. Like they're so pretty and they're so cool and they're so wonderful, and it's just like whatever. Like it's just like everybody's so quiet, and it's like breathtaking, and it's so hard just to like convey that as a grown-up. But I feel like as a child, like you just have that sense of wonder. And you're just so liberal with it. Like you just don't even care. Like you can be in awe all day long and you don't care.
And can I tell you, that's like a huge thing for me when I'm watching fireworks. I don't want a lot of chatter. I want to watch the fireworks and I want to see it and feel good about it. I don't need to talk about which one was amazing right there in the moment. I don't need to dedicate this one to this family member. And I want to sit there and enjoy the moment.
Well, and it's so funny because like it's not really a task that requires silence. But for some reason, it's just like there's this unspoken like crowd sensibility that it's just like we're all gonna be quiet right now. We're gonna watch the magic.
It is because for most people, there's some exceptions, and they're in my family. For most people, it is a wonder moment. It's beautiful. It's inspiring. Like I said, it's very reflective for myself. I mean, I know for Joe, when he sees it, he's not thinking about, people that fought for our freedom and all of that stuff. But one day I hope he does.
Right.
And I hope that I can convey that to him. But that's like one of the things that I will actually cry at fireworks just because, I mean, it's such a passionate moment. I mean, because that's what fireworks are supposed to be, is a reflection of
your freedom,
the fight for our freedom. Yeah. Like the war that went on to.
Right.
So I stole your moment.
No, it's fine. It's the wonder. Yeah. I love the wonder.
Yeah, it is. I've not been able to really watch Joe's. The first one we went to, he fell asleep.
Yeah,
because we had the little headphone things on him, and then the second one, he was a little more afraid of them, but I was like, you know what? You're going to learn to like it.
Right.
Because I don't care what happens to anybody else in this family. You and I are going to be watching fireworks until the day we die.
That's true.
Right.
Samesies. It's my mentality also.
And then we didn't get to go last year, so
Yeah.
we'll figure it out this year. But so my next memory is actually about spending time. So the city over from us, we actually get the opportunity to watch fireworks a couple times because our village does fireworks the day before the village next to us. But the village next to us, Germantown, like puts on this super amazing display, like the wonder of wonder displays. Like I don't get to go down to downtown Milwaukee to watch that. So I'm like, this is the next best thing.
Yeah.
Because Menominee Falls does an all right display, but it's not like, ooh, like it doesn't take my breath away. But the first time that I went to the Germantown ones, we went with my sister-in-law and her kids, and we parked at some farm that was like 4 or 5 miles away. And like you could barely just see the fireworks over the tree line. I'm like, this. So I said to Dan, I'm like, I don't know what your sister and her kids are going to do, but next year, because it was the same, it was that same thing. It's hectic and crazy getting out of there when everyone leaves. And like, but why is that a problem? Why not just enjoy the moment? And I say this to Dan a lot. It's like, I know that this is a little bit stressful right now, but we've had such an amazing time. Why are you going to kill it?
See, and what I do
By
is I
being
just
such a bad mood.
I sit in my car until it clears out, and we just like talk about the fireworks.
Time, right?
We eat some snacks.
Yes.
You know, sometimes we'll watch a movie as we're waiting.
Yeah,
like it's just
it doesn't have to be stressful.
no.
There's no race to get home.
Right? What do we need to get home for?
Yeah, and he has off that week. He has a mandatory shutdown typically that week. So it's not like you don't have to be to work in the morning. You work second shift anyway. So everything's all right. But so the next year I made I made them all go down, and we have gone to into the park, and we sit right on the hill, like right next to where they light the fireworks off, and it is just the most. I love the experience. I love being with family. We have gone every year with my sister-in-law and their kids. There was one year that we were kind of a little separated because they were going to try doing their own family thing, blah blah blah. But they have like a setup where they have food and more food and more food. And then we go.
Summer food's the best, though.
Right.
Like corn on the cob and brats and Italians.
Where they take and they dip that corn in
a
the cob
vat of melted butter. Like.
Right. I'll take 5 of those. Please.
Right? I will eat corn on the cob with butter dripping. Like, there's like a corn on the cob. Like, if you've never eaten corn on the cob at a fair, like maybe you just are not as in farmland. But like the way people eat corn on the cob, like it will be the most poised looking woman who like her makeup is on point. She's like dressed to the nines
together,
and she will be bending over so her mouth is like not over her clothes, so she can eat this corn on the cob without dripping butter on her. Like it is a summer picture.
It humbles everybody.
It does. Like, listen, I'm gonna get down with this sweet corn. It's gonna taste fantastic, and I don't even care if I look like a fool.
So it's just, and they play music. They always have a band there, and then there's the playground so the kids can play, and it's just a nice family time and time for us to be together.
Yeah.
And I think that I really enjoy that week surrounding it as well, because up until we had Joe, my brother-in-law, would also have off that week. And then my sister-in-law worked in the school district, so she was already off. So we would hang out as families, like, and we would go canoeing or hiking. And so I think it's at this point more than just the fireworks. It's that week and kind of the together time and
Yeah.
making memories and things like that. And I think that's kind of, well, like you said, look at your kid's face. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a memory. And that's what I love. I mean, I still remember to this day the one day that we went canoeing, and the night that we got home, my arms cramped so bad. I mean, like all the way across. I thought I was dying. Like, I'm having a heart attack. This is it. But it was just, but I look at the pictures that we took during that canoe trip and the fun that we had. It's just amazing to me. I love being together with family, and I think that the 4th of July is one of the times that we intentionally get together to be with each other. So that was my memory. How about you? You got another one?
I do not have another one. That was 3, right?
I think so. Did you start?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to have to like edit that out. Or not. You could. Maybe
She like put me on the spot, and I was like, no, I don't have another memory. We only said 3.
Look, 5 a.m. I'm still adjusting. I lost count.
And now we'll get into our recommendations.
Yes.
All right, so let's go into our recommendations. Why don't you go first?
My recommendation for this week is I forgot how much fun this is. But last week, we've talked about me cutting Joe off of TV and everything, so I've been scrambling to find things to keep him busy. At Christmas, we had bought him a light bright, and I've been kind of putting it off just because there's 1,000 pieces everywhere.
It's a mess.
But we got that out, and we did that for an hour and a half. Like, he was so. He wanted to do it in the dark, but I'm that kind of old at this point that I can't. I see because they do have like the letters for the colors that you're supposed to punch through the paper, and I can't see what letters those are in the dark. So I was like, you need someone younger to do this with you in the dark. But he was so excited to see the patterns come out and everything. I mean, towards the end, he kind of abandoned me. We did two of them. But towards the end of the second one, he abandoned me. But when it was done, he like came in and was all about it. It was just enjoyable. But again, like I was just saying right before we started recording, there's some mundane tasks that I love where I can just brainlessly just do something, and that is one of those things that I enjoy.
I used to love light brights when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely loved light brights. So that makes my childhood, Melissa, just get all the feels.
How about your recommendation?
So my recommendation is for the PBS Kids YouTube channel.
Okay.
So I specifically want to recommend the Read to You section of the PBS Kids YouTube channel.
Okay, I was going to say, because we do follow that.
Yeah, so they do some cool stuff where they have like celebrities or like famous people actually like read books to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that was always one of my favorite things about Sesame Street was like they had people on there who I could be like, hey, or like John would be like, hey, they're in this movie or whatever. So but the PBS Kids YouTube channel, they have so much stuff on there for the kids, and we are a big PBS family here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we watch tons of PBS. Like, I think that's one of their favorite apps on the Roku box. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know why they just grew up watching it.
I love PBS because I feel like most of the content is safe and I don't have to be standing over Joe wondering what's going to be said.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. There's very few times that the kids are watching PBS that I'm just like, that was inappropriate.
Yes. So I don't we're gonna have to check out the Read to Me. Is that what it is? We'll have to check that out because we do follow PBS on YouTube and then we have the app on our Alexa box as well. Fire Cube, whatever you want to call it.
The streaming thing that you use.
Alexa, who's been ignoring me this week. I think she's mad because I've cut Joe off of a bunch of screen time. I don't know. She outright has ignored me 3 times this week.
It's fine. Mike won't let us have one of those in the house because he feels like the government's listening to us.
I don't know if the government's listening, but it is proven that they do record your voice.
Yeah, but they do it on my phone too. Do you know how many times I'm just like, I need a new toaster, and then I'm scrolling through Facebook and a toaster ad pops up and I'm just like, you're listening to me, Facebook. You're listening.
Oh, let's talk conspiracies. No, I'm just kidding. I joined a Facebook group this week for the Ice Age Trail. You know, the Ice Age Trail is really big here in Wisconsin. And one of my lifelong dreams, because I read a book about this lady in her, I think she was in her 50s when she did it, went and hiked the whole Appalachian Trail on her own. And so, and then I read the other one about the girl that hiked the Pacific something trail in California. So like, ideal me would be like, oh, that's so cool. I mean, logic me is like, you don't like spiders, but how are you going to handle all these bugs? But so I joined it just to kind of keep an eye on what people are doing and things. And I had an acquaintance that I used to work with send me a message on Facebook that's with that group. And I'm like, oh, it's so funny that you sent that to me. I just joined that group. She's like, yeah, I know. You sent me an email through Facebook that suggested I join it. I'm like, I didn't send you nothing. I mean, I really think that you would probably like it because you're a naturey type person, but I did not send that. So we had a good discussion about Facebook listening to
the
us.
Creepiness. Hey, Olivia. I know you sent me an email about it. False. I did not do that.
Right. I mean, Facebook may have sent an email for me, but I didn't ask them to do it.
Right.
They're just taking initiative.
So yeah, the PBS Kids YouTube channel.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Check out the Read to Me. I like that stuff because Jennifer Aniston. Is that not Jennifer Aniston? Gardner. No.
Jennifer Garner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh, my brain. When everything closed down with COVID, she did a big thing with getting.
I love watching her videos. She's such a hilarious person.
I know if I were to meet her, she would want to be my best friend.
I feel like every mom is like Jennifer Garner.
Yeah,
she's like the every mom. I've seen videos of her like baking, like making like bagels. I think one time was the video that I was watching. She was making bagels and she was just like, in the video she had to wake up at like 4 a.m. to like make the bagels. And you just see her, she's like, this is a stupid idea.
She's like, I don't know why I thought of it.
I don't know why I thought this would be cool.
I passively hate Ben Affleck just for divorcing her. I'm like, why would you divorce her? I mean, I want to be married to her. She's so funny and nice. Anyway, I digress.
All right.
Thank you for joining us for the Messy Bun Mamas podcast. If you can't wait to talk to us more, then hit us up on social media. We are on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Messy Bun Mamas Podcast.
You can also reach out to us on our website at www.messybunmamaspodcast.com or email us at messybunmamaspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week.
I am Messy Palmheads.
This is Messy Fun Mama's podcast.
This is Misty Poop.
Messy buns, you silly.